Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast. The Hawks lose 5-1 in Detroit against the formerly hated, now somewhat irrelevant in our minds, Detroit Red Wings. Boy, I hate them now, especially. That sucked.
Yeah.
I still hate them. Any team that employs David Perron, I hate.
That's a really good point.
And Klim Kostin.
Klim. Nice
Kostin.
name, Klim.
What a freaking pud.
The Hawks may have lost the game, but their name is not Klim.
True.
Go back to Pudwackistan.
True.
Anyway, thanks for being with us. Make sure you smash that like button for us on the YouTube page. Make sure you are following and subscribe there as well. And same deal on your favorite podcast app. Follow, subscribe, and take 5 seconds to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. All right, we do this every game. We let you pick the 4-star of the game, and I think the graphic's already made, but we're going to do it for shits and giggles anyway.
Might as well.
The 3 stars, it hasn't been published yet. Who cares? None of them are Hawks. So here are your nominees for 4-star of the game. Lukas Reichel, a goal, 1 shot, 100% shooting. 3 shot attempts, 3 and 1 on faceoffs for 75%. Isaac Phillips, 5 shots on goal, 7 shot attempts, and 3 hits in 17-13 of ice time. And Conor Bedard with an assist, 7 shots on goal, 10 shot attempts, 5 wins, 2 losses on faceoffs for 71%, 18-27 of ice time. So get your votes in there on the YouTube page, and we'll reveal the winner of Conor Bedard at the end of the game.
Conor Bedard's 4th star of the night.
We'll recap the scoring as well. The Red Wings got out to the 1-0 lead on a shorthanded goal from JT Compher. Moments later, less than a minute later, Lukas Reichel got it right back on the power play. Conor Bedard gets the puck behind the net, feeds it in front. Tyler Johnson actually got a stick on it, so he gets a primary assist. And Reichel scores his 2nd goal of the season, with Johnson and Bedard picking up assists. About 5 minutes later, Robbie Fabry just embarrasses Wyatt Kaiser on a 2-on-2 rush, just stick handles around him. Didn't get hurt on the play, which is an upset. And he scores, making it 2-1 Detroit. That was the score at the end of the first period. Second period, 5 minutes in, Ben Sherratt takes advantage of Wyatt Kaiser, sliding across the crease, trying to block a cross-ice pass that never came.
That was never going to go.
Yes. Instead, he gets in the way of Peter Mrazek and his left pad, and Ben Sherratt takes the puck and roofs it over Mrazek. It's 3-1 Detroit. And then a few seconds later, 5:56, JT Compher gets a power play goal after Lukas Reichel took a penalty right after the 3-1 goal. Compher scores immediately on that power play, making it 4-1. And then in the third, Robbie Fabry scores again on the power play. Daniel Sprong, it's my fault for making fun of Sprong all over the last 2 days, shoots a puck through traffic, and a rebound goes right to Robbie Fabry, who scores in the final is 5-1.
Never bet against the new number bounce.
That's true.
Sure.
It's like the new coach bounce, the trade bounce,
the new dad.
And the new dad bounce, exactly. Well, look, the score was 5-1. But I think we all agree that the game probably wasn't that bad when you take the score out of it, which I know it's very difficult to do, but you know, we talked in the pregame a little bit about this is a game they should win and yada yada, and when they've had those games, the efforts have been poor. I don't have a problem with the effort in this game.
No.
My issue is more with the execution. And when you're outmatched and over-talented, that's going to happen more often than not.
And their goalie made a couple of extra saves. Alex Lyon made some nice saves.
Imagine cutting that guy.
Yeah, I mean, geez, who told you to do that? But I already told you why, all right? We had a good chuckle about it off the air. But the talent gap. Big talent gap.
Yeah.
Even without Dylan Larkin, they're two different. They're on two different levels right now. These two teams. The Hawks, the effort was fine. They outshot the Red Wings. They outplayed them for stretches, but it's just like, how many times have we said this year where it's like the other team, the Blackhawks make a mistake and the opponent scores like that.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks force the opponent to make a mistake, and it takes them 9 tries to even get a shot off.
Right.
Like, it's just they don't capitalize on their chances as much. I mean, there were, Bedard was robbed in the third period, and Korchinski had a great chance too. And it's just like, but those seems that every time that happens against the Hawks, it's JT Compher scoring or Robbie Fabry's scoring.
Yeah.
It's not, so it's, the effort was fine. It wasn't, there were moments where, they, bad plays. We'll get into the shorthanded goals here, I'm sure, but I'm not like, this doesn't feel like the Columbus game.
No.
It doesn't feel like the Nashville game or the Arizona game. The effort was there. The talent gap was too big, and their goalie was better than our goalie.
A little bit of an update to the scoring, by the way. On Reichel's goal, Bedard got the primary assist, and Kevin Korchinski got the secondary. So
Yeah, it was
a little correction
originally
there.
Tyler
They
Johnson,
gave
yeah.
the primary to Johnson, who was right in front and kind of whiffed on it, and then Reichel scored. So it went from Korchinski to Bedard to Reichel, and that's good.
Lukas Reichel, the first Blackhawk with 2 power play goals on the season.
That is crazy.
Yeah. It's
For him, his only 2 goals
Yeah.
have come
Yeah,
on
it's okay.
power play.
I mean, they count either way, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's that's great for Reichel. It's still only 7 power play goals on the season, 4 shorthanded goals that they've allowed.
Well,
that's a fucking problem.
Well,
Yeah.
two in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that leads us nicely into the first thing we could probably discuss is
With Seth Jones back on the top power play unit. This
Yeah.
is why
It makes a difference.
everybody in the chat, let's get Korchinski out there. Seth Jones sucks on the top power play unit.
It makes a difference.
Kevin Korchinski is a freaking liability out there.
Yeah.
Too many odd man rushes going back the other way. It's not all his fault.
No.
But it's...
You need
he
a security
doesn't-
blanket.
He doesn't have the defensive awareness
Yes.
to see things coming. Conor Bedard got caught. He needs to learn how to cheat a little defensively too when a turnover comes. It's not like Korchinski will be the top power play unit quarterback someday. That
lessons
day
to
is
learn.
no longer today.
Lessons to learn. And look, like, yeah, it might be 1 or 2 plays where, there's a slight difference in where Seth Jones is positioned compared to Korchinski is positioned, just based off of, game experience and kind of knowing where to be, or 1 or 2 plays where Seth Jones is able to keep in a puck where Kevin Korchinski doesn't. But the problem is those 1 or 2 plays going the other way end up in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And then you're down a goal or 2 goals on a power play that has been as bad as the Blackhawks have been this season. If you weren't scoring goals, that's one thing. If you're not scoring goals and you're giving up so many shorthanded opportunities and they are getting converted, that's a major problem. And so I think we definitely heard the calls for Korchinski to be on the top power play unit.
And I think we agreed with him at the time.
Yeah, it was, what? Let's
Yeah.
give it a try. Give it a try, see what happens.
Yeah.
Seth Jones wasn't necessarily, he's still searching for his first goal of the year. He was put in a darn effort against Seattle trying to, create some offense and everything throughout the game, not just on the power play. But I mean, if the give and take of Korchinski and Jones flipping on top power play unit is that maybe you don't get as much shot creation from Jones as maybe you do from Korchinski, but you're giving up fewer mistakes on the top power play unit, which is going to play 75 to 85% of the power play minutes that this team is going to get all season. I'd rather give up fewer mistakes than try and just run and gun and
Absolutely.
and take the risk.
And I mean, nothing turns momentum like a shorthanded goal. And the other thing too is Korchinski might end up, if he remains on power play 1, with more points than Seth Jones would have got. And again, power play assist today, fine. But what you're looking at over time with Jones on power play 1, as you've mentioned several times, his ability to keep the puck in at the line. Maybe he rings it around the boards instead of on net or sets up a one-timer, but guess what? You still have the puck.
Yeah.
And it's not going the other way with 2 forwards going and 1 defenseman back, the defenseman who's a rookie. The other thing that I've noticed about Korchinski is he is the reason that the slingshot power play is going to give me an aneurysm. Because as a young player,
welcome to the club.
He is the one who is taking it literally of I exit the zone and I turn around and drop pass it. Whereas Seth Jones says, that's an option for me. It's the primary option. It's like a quarterback reading a progression or not. Young quarterbacks struggle to read progressions. Veteran quarterbacks don't. So Seth Jones can go out there, read his power play progression, say, is there a slingshot there? Is there a ring around the boards there? Should I carry it in? Is there a forward in progress that can carry it in? And he can evaluate all those things quickly like that. Kevin Korchinski doesn't have that processing speed yet, and it's not a knock on his talent or on his potential or anything. We all love Kevin Korchinski. We all think he's going to be awesome. But right now, as I said in the pregame, when you rely on your special teams to be the equalizer when you're playing against better teams, you can't have your power play hurting you. It's hurting you. You're giving up more. It's like decline the effing power play at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's
scary.
It's a difference, and I do appreciate you making the comparison to the quarterback, so producer Greg Braggs can make that correlation as well. But it's a difference between a guy who's been running, on top power play units for 10 years in the NHL to a guy who's just doing it now for the 3rd or 4th game.
And
there's a
I'm
huge
glad
difference.
they gave it a look.
Yeah.
See what happens. See if it changes anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. This season is not the focus is not figuring out. The focus is not trying to contend for anything. The focus is figuring out where are some of these young players' strengths and weaknesses. And right now, you can see that a strength of Kevin Korchinski is being able to distribute the puck, get shot creation. His offensive instincts are great. His skating ability is great. His defensive instincts, his positioning, all needs work. And even on the power play, it can be a problem. So you're figuring things out. You gave it a shot, good. Sticking with it when things are not working to this detriment where you're giving up shorthanded chances, I think is going to be a detriment to the rest of the team because, yes, while you're still not contending for anything, you don't want to just sit in bad habits and say, oh, well, they're learning. It's bad. It's bad habits.
Right.
So you have to give them an opportunity to succeed or fail. Then if it's too much failure, you kind of pull them back and give them an opportunity to be like, okay, here's where we can learn from our failures. Here's where, we see our successes, video sessions, practicing, all those opportunities to have those teachable moments and put them into practice. But in games, if it's constantly happening over and over and over again, it becomes a bad habit and it becomes a detriment to the team. And then frustration sets in, which we saw with Conor Bedard tonight.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And that can spill over to the rest of the team. But if that frustration is brought on from the constant mistakes and the same things happening over and over, it's not going to be constructive in any way. So you want to have that frustration so that you can actually like, okay, what's going to pull us out of it? And I think that's when you probably lean towards your veterans to then try and help pull the team out of it where the kids are trying to figure things out at the NHL level.
Yeah, young players, teenagers, especially playing defense, are going to make lots of mistakes. Mm-hmm. You just can't see the same mistakes over again. At some point,
you don't want to sink a guy.
No, at some point you've got to the brain's got to click and say, okay, last time I tried that, it didn't end well, so let's try something different. But these are the growing pains we knew we were going to have all season with Korchinski, with, to a degree, Vlasic. And we're seeing major growing pains with Wyatt Kaiser right now. He was a guy that was solid, really good for the first few games, and now he's riding the struggle bus.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like to reference this thing that a scout told me years ago, and I know I use it too much, but I know people don't listen to every show. that it might look like a defenseman is doing okay, and under the surface they're really treading water hard, trying not to drown. You can see why Kaiser are drowning right now. I'm writing about it for Hawks Hits after the game. I don't know how you look Isaac Phillips in the eye after his, 9 games now since Tenori went down, 8 or 9, whatever it is, and say why Kaiser outplayed you. And yeah, I know you can look at the body types of Phillips and Tenori and Kaiser and say, well, we've already got a big guy in Tenori. And Kaiser, you're a small guy, so you should stay because you're different. Bullshit. Like, Isaac Phillips is playing better hockey right now than Wyatt Kaiser, and I don't think there's much of an argument again. Like, I don't know what you could look at and say that that's a wrong opinion.
Phillips has done the development time in Rockford that Kaiser hasn't, and I think what we're seeing is that he needs.
Yep.
So play 20 minutes a night as a top AHL defenseman who's young, who can, play a game at a different pace and process it differently. Yeah. Get that experience and then come back to the NHL and see if it translates.
It worked wonderfully for Alex Vlasic, who has been solid this year. He still has learning to do. He's getting victimized on the backdoor play left and right.
Everybody
again
is.
Tonight.
Yeah.
That happened in the Toronto game where he was turned the wrong way.
Yep.
And then today but these are things that young defensemen struggle with. But yeah, Kaiser, I think, needs that Rockford time. And as someone in the comments I think it was Adrian, said that, hey, the Ice Hogs are playing in Winnipeg this weekend. The Blackhawks are playing in Winnipeg this weekend. You don't even have to, he can just hop on the Ice Hogs. You can send them over to the locker room after Saturday's game, and he can go back home with them if Tenorti's ready to come. I have no problem with a Phillips-Tenorti pairing, because I said the other day, and you saw it today, when Isaac Phillips wants to be involved offensively, he's not too shabby.
End of the game today, he was down at the goal line, stick handling through forwards, making passes.
Had 5 shots on goal and 7 attempts tonight with 3 hits. Yeah. So he could do it both.
He was effective. And he's a -2 because of Wyatt Kaiser.
Right. The only player that had more shots on goal and more shot attempts than Isaac Phillips tonight was Conor Bedard.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he has that offensive side to his game. So if you put him out there with Tenorti, he can do a little more of that. He doesn't have to be the stay-at-home guy because Wyatt Kaiser's sliding all over the place and getting his neck guard thrown into the rafters because he's getting faked out.
Why's it gotta be the neck guard?
Shame the guy.
Why's it got to be the neck guard?
Well, it's easier for that to fly off. It doesn't have to go through pants. It
That's
just
true.
goes
That's
right
true.
off his neck.
That's true. Well, what's funny is, so like I said, I'm writing about this for Hawks, so I was going back, and on Tuesday after the game, Luke was asked by, I think it was Tab, said, is Isaac Phillips making this decision hard for you? And he's like, well, sometimes it's good for guys to go back and play big minutes, and it worked for Vlasic. Luke, the same thing can be said for Kaiser, and
never played big minutes.
He's never
in the
played big
AHL.
minutes. Exactly.
He
And
needs
Phillips
it.
has been through the Kaiser plan and beyond
3
at this point.
years in the AHL for Phillips.
So if that's the argument, then yes, you're right, Luke. Send Wyatt Kaiser back to play top minutes, top power play, penalty kill, put up some big points, show people what he learned in the NHL, get his confidence back, and then bring him back. And I don't want to make this like Team Phillips versus Team Kaiser, but right now that's the decision, right? Like it's going to be one of those two. And even if you want to say like, well, Tenorti can sit, it's not going to happen. You already have Zaitsev there. You can't get rid of him. So one of those two, if you don't send him down, is going to be in the press box.
Right.
So you've got to send
isn't
one of those two
beneficial.
down so they can play those top minutes in Rockford. And right now, I don't know how you look at Isaac Phillips and say, thanks, we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
That's
Isaac
not
Phillips
fair.
is
It's
playing-
not fair.
Isaac Phillips is playing confident hockey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wyatt Kaiser is not playing confident hockey. You know how you can play confident hockey? Go bum slay in the AHL for a month and come back.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not a bad idea.
no, and I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes. It didn't sound the other day that it certainly sounded that Phillips was going to be the guy that will go back when Tenorti is healthy, but
I wouldn't do it.
but
He did say before the game today that this game counts, that they're using this game to evaluate
if-
who
if-
stays.
if-
get your
that's
Beefaroo
true-
gift card ready, young Mr. Kaiser. You're going to need it.
Yeah, if that's true.
I can't send Phillips down right now.
Yeah.
If you're carrying 7 defensemen, he is one of the best 7 defensemen on this team right now.
Yeah. I no argument there.
Because you're letting Nikita Zaitsev hang around. He's not playing. Maybe I don't know what the deal is there.
I mean, honestly though, you can't.
There's nothing else you can do.
He hasn't done anything to like crack this lineup.
No,
and
he had 1 or 2 games where you're like, wow, that was serviceable.
He hasn't been
but
awful.
But it was because everyone was hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not standing to get Nikita Zaitsev in there, but the bottom line is he's still taking up that roster spot.
Yeah.
Unless he gets some mysterious ouchie.
And you're not going to send him down to Rockford because he's going to do the same thing. What are you going to do?
No,
have him take away minutes from Nolan Allen or Ethan Del Mastro?
No,
not at all.
Not a chance. So you're just hoping, I don't know, just let him ride it out, explain it to him. Maybe you're hoping he comes to you and says, hey, let's mutually part ways.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure he wants to play somewhere.
I'm sure he does.
And if he was to become a free agent, which he could probably, if they just mutually agree.
Yeah, if
someone will pick him up for a league minimum.
Right. Yeah, you'd think.
Maybe he just wants the money. Don't really blame him.
I mean, if I was getting paid $4.25 million to hang out in hotels and ride on coach flights and eat NHL quality food,
you get to live in Chicago.
I'm happy
and hang around. And
but I'm also not a professional hockey player who's
deep down they want to play.
Yeah, I mean, but pay me that money, I'll do that. But it's so that's like if you didn't have the Zaitsev situation, you didn't have him on the roster, you could keep both of those guys here. And then
Tenorti is your 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But
sure.
And he's fine with that too, I'm sure.
But Luke Richardson loves Tenorti and it's,
I do too.
And he does bring value to this roster.
There is an element of his game that this team is missing.
Yes.
Because even though Connor Murphy can be the guy that is physical, hits, blocks shots, sticks up for teammates, all that stuff, it's not the best thing he does.
Right.
So
it's the best thing Jared Tenorti does.
Yeah, the best thing Jared Tenorti does is be physical and get in the scrums and whatnot and
then get hurt.
Make sure your face is okay. But I mean, I think there's a reason to have Tenorti in the lineup. And same thing with Phillips. He's big, he's physical. He can, we've seen him scrap in the AHL, but it's also not the most necessary thing he can bring to the lineup. So it's interesting. I don't know. I agree. I think the time and development path that Kaiser can take to go down to Rockford, learn, I think the thing is acclimate to the pace of everything.
Yeah.
And I think the pace of everything at the NHL level is just too much for him at this point. And he needs some time to kind of be at a pace where he can feel confident at the AHL level and then eventually return to the NHL level and see if everything works.
Yeah. All right. We've got some super chats to get to. We also, later in the show, if you missed the pregame, I'm sure many of you did, which is fine. We're going to share with you Corey Perry's statement.
It's not fine.
Well, I mean,
we can't
watch it's a work week.
CHGO Blackhawks content you can.
Yes. Go back and watch it, even though the game already happened. But we're going to share with you Corey Perry's statement, which he issued today. If you missed it, we've got to pay off Who's Your Hawk. We've got to do Conor's Corner. A whole bunch of stuff to do. Some super chats. We're going to take our first break. While we do, please take a few seconds to hammer that like button for us. It would mean a lot if you did.
Hammer it. You know where else you can hammer things? A big rubber tire at the Midtown Athletic Club. At any of their 4 Chicagoland locations, you can swing a big old hammer on a tire and have a big old workout if you want. They got 4 locations, as I said: Palatine, Bannockburn, Willowbrook, and, of course, the flagship HQ of Midtown Athletic Club here in the city of Chicago in the middle of Bucktown and Lincoln Park. The Palatine location has undergone a multi-million-dollar transformation, which will come to full completion in early 2024. Just so there's no confusion, it is open. It is mostly functional, but all of the updates and renovations, all of the updates and renovations will be completed in a few months. And they offer at the Midtown Athletic Club locations. Anywhere you go, tons of options for people who are looking to get into their physical wellness journey and their mental health wellness journey and all that stuff. For single people, families with kids, people looking to make lifestyle changes, holistic wellness, all of that, they have options for you. And they have a ton of awesome features. I was at the Bannockburn one. So many workout studios, big group class theaters that they have, spin class facilities, hot yoga, regular yoga, laying down yoga where you don't move all that much. Restorative yoga is the word. That, you know what? If we go to Midtown as a group, restorative yoga and a chicken sandwich, that's a good day at the gym.
Can I do it at the same time?
Can I do them both at the same time?
You know?
No, that's what you do.
Probably.
You put the chicken sandwich just a little out of reach. We have to stretch to get it.
There you go.
It's like a slight sit-up.
And then bring it back out slowly and
Perfect.
They just raise it every time. You just raise it up a little bit
Always focusing on your breathing while you're doing that as well.
That's
right
what you
there.
gotta do.
Yeah, they got spas, saunas, massages are available. They got hair salons, nail salons. It's crazy. All the stuff that they have, plus everything you're looking for in a gym with, free weights and workout machines that are state of the art. It's awesome. Midtown Athletic Club is also known for some of the best tennis facilities in all of Chicagoland. So if you're big in tennis, you need to check out the Midtown Athletic Club. Indoor and outdoor courts, pickleball courts, pools, for recreational swimming, for, more workout swimming laps and everything. They got
saying
all
there's
that
lots of
available.
options.
Tons of options, tons of awesome amenities. And the food there is great as well. You can see why people don't just look at the Midtown Athletic Club as just a gym. It is like a place to be. Like, you could spend a full day there.
I hear you can have birthday drinks there, too.
Yes.
Happy belated birthday, Mr. Braggs.
Have a lot of fun there.
That is true.
It was awesome. The HQ one was unbelievable.
Yeah, you guys did the content shoot out there.
Golf
Looks like you were doing
simulators,
a lot of
the whole
stuff.
bit.
Golf simulators, basketball courts.
Lots of stuff to do.
Awesome stuff. I know. Head over to midtown.com/CHGO to find out more and tour the Midtown Athletic Club nearest to you.
All right.
But wait, there's more. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God! Can you believe we're still in the NFL season after that Midtown read? We got to make every second count with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. You can make the most out of every game day. Bet on your favorite teams or teams that are good for a shot at winning big bucks. New customers can score $150 instantly. That's in italics. In bonus bets for betting $5. That's bold on any matchup. Braggs, listen to this. Tell me why this is happening, football man. The Eagles are at home against the Niners. Good team. Mm-hmm. They're getting 3, and they're plus 136 on the money line. Why, Greg Braggs, is that happening?
Division matchup, right? Isn't that how it is?
Eagles and Niners?
Eagles and Niners?
Eagles and Niners.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you said Cowboys.
But why
Cowboys
is
are playing tonight.
The
That's
10-1 home team Eagles
well, the
getting
other team
3.
has to go all the way across the country
Yeah,
to play.
plus 136 and plus 3 for the Eagles.
I mean,
Unless someone's
the
not
travel,
playing, we don't
the
know
travel's
about.
certainly part of it. Getting to the West
But
Coast.
they're home.
All right.
The Eagles are at home.
I guess the long story short is I have no idea.
All right, fair enough.
Vegas wants your money. They know something.
There is
Yeah,
something
something.
up.
They know something.
San Francisco's going to win by 10, but I don't know. I like that one. So I'm laying some money down. You should too. Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook and official sports betting partner of the National Football League. Download the app now and use code CHGO. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on the NFL. I'm just reading the copy. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. The crown is yours.
You're doing your best CHGO Bulls impression over
Yes, I am. Now, this is red italics. I don't know what that sounds like. I'll work on
there. You
it.
got to get real angry about it.
Read verbatim. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In West Virginia, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and all state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. That's 7 days. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. +3. Eagles. Do it.
But
I think we're ready for another ad read after that ad read segment.
but what I want to know is if I have a gambling problem and I'm in Delaware, who do I call?
Hi, I'm in Delaware. All right, let's knock out these super chats real quick, and then we'll get into the Conor Bedard's frustration today. It was kind of the other story of the game, aside from the 5-1 loss. Lebowski 5 with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Lebowski, who is there every show for us. We appreciate his ongoing support. I'm assuming it's, I don't know, their ongoing support. A reminder that the Hawks
It's
are
a family
early in the rebuild. That was all caps. To compare to 2020 to 2010, this is like 2004, 5 years away from contention. Cornerstone defenseman is 19 years old. Seabrook, Bolin, Brouwer, Versteeg, Hjalmarsson aren't even on the team yet. Fair comparison. Alton V says this team is super inconsistent. It's tough to watch. Yep, it's a rebuild. And Dev with a $5 super chat says, honestly feel like Kaiser is playing well. He's visibly getting better out there, and I think Phillips is a big part of that. Hawks' best pairing, in my opinion.
Okay. Dev, I don't know what game you're watching.
You're entitled to your opinion. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I don't know. I know there are some Kaiser defenders in the chat as well.
Kaiser defenders were great at Riot Fest.
They actually played Lollapalooza. They were
upgrade.
The Kaiser defenders are the sons of the Kaiser Chiefs. Anywho,
this is what happens when this team plays this way.
Yeah, we just get stupid.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody here is saying why Kaiser is a bad player.
No.
We just think the
could
game
use a
is
breather.
going a little too fast for him right
Yes.
now, and there is nothing wrong with him recharging, resetting, getting a different outlook on things, playing in Rockford when you have another young defender in Isaac Phillips who's playing better hockey than him right now.
Who's benefited
and you
from
have a veteran coming back. So right now, I think it's Kaiser that should be playing in the AHL, not Phillips. And then when Phillips hits a wall, maybe, then you bring Kaiser back up. Like you have flexibility with those guys. The AHL is there to develop young guys. Use it.
Yeah, if he was playing this way as a 31-year-old,
then
you would just be like, he's just bad.
Get him on the bus with Zaitsev.
But as a 21-year-old, it's like, oh, okay, well, there's obviously some development steps that still need to be taken. So being able to do that in the minor leagues there's nothing wrong with that.
It's not, and I think that people need to. Chicago has been spoiled for over a decade, and the fact that when their top prospects come up, they stay up. You haven't had
A lot of times.
Sure, Keith and Seabrook, they all had and Crawford had long runs in Norfolk. That was before a lot of people were paying attention.
Norfolk, as I was told.
Kane and Taves came in, were great right away.
It's a city.
Brandon Saad came in, was great right away. Artemi Panarin was signed as a free agent, great right away.
Well, Brandon Saad got half a season in the AHL
Sure,
during that
but
lockout.
But
yes.
that was not a typical development path for a second-round pick, right?
Sure.
The Hawks had a lot of success during a dynasty of guys being good right away or close to right away. What we're seeing with Kaiser and Phillips and Vlasic and all these young defensemen is normal. It's very rare for a guy to come to the NHL and stay, especially defensemen. And Kyle Davidson said it in the preseason that any sort of demotion to Rockford it doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean they think you're bad or they're giving up on you. Sometimes young players need to take a breather and have the game slow down and work things out in Rockford. It's okay.
He's a 21-year-old defenseman who's played 29 professional games.
Yeah.
All at the NHL level.
Yes, professional games. Yes.
All at the NHL level. He's not played one game in the AHL. It's not going to hurt him one bit to play the next 15 to 20 games down there and come back.
And if you want to talk about the Vlasic development path, which Luke Richardson brought up on Tuesday, Vlasic came up as a Hawk first, started really kind of rough, and Derek King said so, and then started figuring things out, had some nice chemistry with Seth Jones at the end of the year, and then went down and played the entire year in Rockford. And now he's here, and guess what? He's one of the team's top 2 or 3 defensemen.
Yeah.
Probably number 2 behind Seth Jones at this point.
Yeah.
So,
And he's closing the gap.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And again, like, everybody's different. Korchinski may never go back, right? It doesn't seem like he's going to go. He's not going back to the Western League.
No.
But next year, if he starts slow, they can send him to Rockford if they wanted to.
Could, but you
probably won't.
You probably won't.
But everyone's development path is different.
Yeah.
But so if it's Kaiser that goes back, if it's Phillips that goes back, in no way does that indicate that, well, that's it for them. On to the next one.
Because for the first time, pretty much ever since they've been the affiliate for the Blackhawks, the Rockford Ice Hogs are a very important part of this rebuild.
It's being used as an actual development.
Yes. It never was during the Cup run. No. It never was since then because there was never any prospects worth a damn down there.
Yeah, and like the guys that played there, it was a short time.
Right. They couldn't wait to get them up here and room them and then trade them. So, like, Rockford is there for a reason. It's not, you suck, go play in the AHL. No, you need a little more seasoning. Go get it in the AHL.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. All right, let's move on to the offensive part of the game here.
Close this out here. This is coming from Ben Pope. Luke Richardson on Kaiser's rough night. For a young defenseman especially, when things go poorly against the team and yourself, you've got to keep it simple. That happens every once in a while to the best of defensemen. The big thing for him is to keep a good mindset and not let it happen again.
It sounds like they've already made up their mind. And I don't think I'm reading too much into that, but he's been talking about Phillips is going down. He's been talking about Kaiser is staying.
And figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, he gets the final say, I guess.
And I mean, of course, like he pointed out Tuesday, like there was a one play where Isaac tripped and caused a play the other way, and he's got to figure out how to use his body and use his feet. Those are things that we don't have the vision, the hockey knowledge to see that stuff.
Well, yeah, don't fall over.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like Luke and Kyle and Kevin Dean have an ability to like watch video and watch a guy's footwork and see how they're turning and see like, okay, that's a problem that needs work. Mm-hmm. Where Kaiser might have the footwork stuff down better. I will say too, like Phillips's build and attributes, I guess, if you're going to use an NHL 24 term, he can recover better because of his size, because of his strength, because of his stride. If he makes a mistake, he can push a guy away or get in the way a little bit, where Kaiser is a smaller guy. Mm-hmm. So if he gets beat wide, it's over. Like, he's got to either pull the guy down, take a penalty, potentially cause a penalty shot, whereas Phillips can go, whoops, and then just kind of turn his shoulder and get in the guy's way a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Luke's played 1,400 games at that position, so I'll trust his insight and trust what he's seeing, but I don't know. You know how I feel.
Yeah, I think we've established how we all feel about it. I'm on Team Phillips, but again, nothing against Kaiser.
But it wasn't Team Kaiser versus Team Phillips, though.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not nothing against him. But,
all right.
Yeah, I guess I contradicted myself.
Nah, you're fine.
Anyway, can we move on to the offense now, damn it?
Sure.
What offense?
There was one goal.
Yeah, exactly, one goal.
One goal. Next.
Yeah, Conor Bedard, I think when you look at the big picture of his game today, probably one of his better overall games.
Yeah.
He was a threat every time he was on the ice.
Yeah.
And, 10 shot attempts, 6 shots on goal.
11 shot attempts. 7 shots on goal, 11 shot attempts.
Yeah. I mean, he was terrific.
Remember, just in the pregame show, we were saying it's okay if you want to shoot the puck every time you got it.
He figured it
must
out.
have been listening because that's
learned.
exactly what he did.
Well,
he said, damn it, I have to do it myself.
Well, we saw him get very frustrated after a play, whacked his stick across the board 3 times, breaking it, and then went on the bench and punched the wall a few times. Probably don't want him doing that. We don't need a broken hand because he's having a freak out on the bench. But the dude's a competitor. Let's be honest, he'll never admit it, but it's been a very rough week for him. And I think a lot of that's coming to a head right now. But what I do notice about Conor Bedard is that he's the kind of guy when things are going bad, he gets pissed off about it and tries to change things on his own.
Right.
And he seems like a guy who, when he's getting checked, getting hit, or things aren't going his way, that it motivates him and it elevates his game.
Yeah. Yeah, 11 shot attempts tonight, second most this season. 8 scoring chances created, second most this season. 7 shots on goal, the most in a game this season. So he wasn't for lack of trying to create things that things weren't working out for him. And look, the frustration that he showed, I like it. I like seeing a player, and we've seen it a few times this season from Bedard and from other guys. End of the game, they're trying to chase for the final goal in a 4-3 game or something. They don't get it, smashing the stick on the goalpost or throwing it against the boards or something. Like it's not that they're just accepting the way that games are going. Yeah. They're not accepting the results. They're frustrated because, as Nick Foligno has said a number of times, like, this team is better than they've shown. So it's a frustration of, like, trying to get to that level that they believe in themselves that they can get to, that they're just not getting there. So at some point, it's the frustration coming out that, we would hope that at some point it comes to the conclusion that, like, they're getting to that level that they can that they expect themselves to play at. And with Bedard specifically, like, he has, through all of the levels of hockey that he's played, he's always been a guy that's, like, major point producer, major contributor, like the guy who is going to drive the offense for every team. And he's doing that here, but not to the level of 150 points in 50 games, So it's probably the longest stretch of games collectively that he has been held to the most, like, it's probably been the most frustrating stretch of games because he's been focused on more and hasn't been able to do the things that he's been able to do at the World Juniors, in the WHL, and so on and so forth. So it's good to see that frustration come out. I think the clip that we saw on the broadcast was after a power play came to no fruition. I assume that is frustrating because they have one of the worst power plays in the league. So, let the frustrations out. Don't get hurt while you're doing it. Hopefully it can, it rubs off on the rest of the team that, like, hey, this 18-year-old kid is trying to pull us into this game, and it's frustrating him that we're probably not there with him. Like, take the lead of him and try and get yourselves out of this funk that this team is in with, either the efforts that are inconsistent or not being able to capitalize on their chances. Like, I don't know. I like seeing it. I know some people can say it can lead to bad things, but, like, you got to let those frustrations out and hope that it translates to some better results.
Yeah, leave it on the ice.
Yeah.
We saw Jonathan Taves do that plenty over his career.
What?
And not complain about a penalty, but, like, we've seen him.
So long as you're
his
not
cool.
punching teammates on the bench and anything like that out of
absolutely.
frustration.
Like,
as
you said, like, other guys are going to see that and go, all right, well, if our best player thinks he's not doing enough, then I sure as shit ain't doing enough.
Right.
So let's pick it up. And Bedard is a kid that's used to being the best player on the ice by a million times and being able to just do whatever he wants. So I'm sure he's getting some frustration because he's actually now, for the first time in his hockey life, playing against guys that can hang with him and prevent him from doing what he wants to do. And goalies that could actually stop some of those shots every once in a while. Where before, it's now Blackhawk prospect Adam Guyon that just gets embarrassed in the World Juniors. Like, he's facing NHL goalies, and most NHL goalies are pretty damn good.
Yes.
So it's frustrating for him because he probably thinks he should have more goals and more points. But that's life in the NHL. You've got to every shot needs to be, a little bit better than what you had in juniors. So I like seeing the frustration. I like seeing that feistiness. It's not
Well, you know what it means he wants to be traded. That's what.
No,
that's
I mean,
what Twitter's telling us.
everybody says he wants out already. Yeah, what a week for the mouth breathers. But
It has been a big week for them.
yeah. But like he's. I like seeing the feistiness. I like seeing that. Like, hey, I don't want to lose. I hate losing, and he's lost more since October 7th than he probably is used to.
Yeah.
I know Regina wasn't the greatest team, but when they were down,
He'd have 8 points.
when they were down, he said
they might lose 9-8, but he had all
he
8
scored
goals.
8
Yeah,
goals.
right.
But he put that team on his back and was able to carry them. And he's probably a little frustrated because he can't quite do that here.
Yeah. Speaking of that, you found a cool stat about Bedard and his road scoring today during the game.
Oh.
You told me about it. I have it. If you want me to read it, I have it open.
No,
It's in our Slack.
I got it.
Yeah.
Conor Bedard.
It's in Slack.
Yeah. I saw it earlier. Yeah, he has now tied the longest road point streak in Blackhawks history by a rookie with a point in 7 straight road games. And that was a mark originally set 43 years ago by one Daryl Sutter.
Nice.
So that's
know him.
pretty good company to be in. The longest road point streaks in NHL history by a player 18 years or younger. Wouldn't that just be 18 years old? Can't be younger than 18 and playing
I would
in the
imagine.
NHL. I don't know. Anyways, 4 players have had 7 road game point streaks in history, those being Sylvain Turgeon, Steve Yzerman, Sidney Crosby, and now Conor Bedard. Good company to be in.
I would say so.
The longest road point streak by an 18-year-old player in NHL history is a 16-game streak by Nathan MacKinnon.
That's going to be tough to beat. But let's
That's
hope he can do
going to
it.
be tough, but, don't put it past Conor Bedard to try and do that.
No, that's for sure. Hey, you know what this sets up nicely for?
What?
Connor's Corner.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Bing, bong, bing, bing, bong.
There it is.
Nice.
Conor Bedard finished the game with an assist. He was -2, 18:27 of ice time, 7 shots on goal, 11 shot attempts, and 71% from the dot. 5 wins, 2 losses. He is getting better in that regard. 71%, not typical. Don't expect that for the rest of his career. But he's been getting slowly better at faceoffs. Clearly, we see him working on it all the time at practice. I said it to start the segment, and I stand by it. I think this is one of his best games of the year.
Yeah, it's aside from not having a hat trick in this game, like it was the most individual effort that he had to try and pull this team back into a game that I know we joked about it earlier, but credit to Alex Lyon. Like, he came up with some huge saves.
Yes, he
like
did.
Diving saves. He robbed Bedard of probably a sure goal on 95% of the time when Bedard gets that kind of opportunity. So, yeah, he did as much as he could to individually try and get this Blackhawks team back in this game tonight.
Just for some context for that last stat, there have been 16 17-year-old players who have played at least one NHL game. So that's probably why they threw that in. Most of them were in the 40s and 50s.
I was going to say.
The last time a 17-year-old played in the NHL was Kimby Daniels in the 1990-91 season, played 2 games as a 17-year-old for the Philadelphia Flyers. 2 of his 5 career games.
Kimby?
So he played at
Kimby?
17 and only played 5 NHL games?
I think so.
Was he hit by a meteor? Meteor.
Kimby Daniels.
How do you call a guy up that early and then only play him 5 games?
Oh, I'm sorry. He played 27 total.
Well, still.
Well, when you're not that good.
What the hell?
At some point, though, as a 17-year-old, you had to do something to earn that.
So he played 2 games as a
As a
17-year-old
17-year-old.
in the 90-91 season with the Philadelphia Flyers.
Right.
He then went back to the Seattle Thunderbirds in the 91-92 season, played 19 games there, and then played another 25 games with the Flyers in the 91-92 season, and then went back to the WHL in the 1992-93
never
season.
played in the NHL past
with
18
Tri-City,
years old.
and then never played in the NHL ever again.
And played till he was 35.
Jesus.
He played
Ernie
a
Daniels.
lot of ECHL games.
A no-show.
Yeah.
All right, why don't we do Who's Your Hawk, and we'll do. I think our 4-star is ready, Greg. Right? Like we've got it's kind of a runaway. All right, let's do Who's Your Hawk. We'll do that, and then we'll take a break, and then we're going to talk about Corey Perry's statement before we wrap the show up. So make sure you stick around and hit that like button for us. But the winner today, with Philip Kurashev.
Nope.
No, with Darren Radish. Jesus, who's that?
Taylor Radish.
Who's Darren Radish? Is that
His brother.
Is it
Brother
Darren?
on the Lightning.
Yeah, Taylor Radish. Greg Boysen is
Yes.
the winner today.
We also made an amendment to the tiebreaker when there are no points involved. That
Yes.
whoever has the highest game score gets it.
We got tied after the tiebreaker.
right, and so we figured out that's the way. So yeah, I'm not thrilled that I have to pick up a win like this.
Yeah, it's kind of a not.
Yeah, it's kind
satisfying
of like,
win.
oh, great. I win on a technicality, win because the French judges cheated or something like that. But I'll
would
take
never.
it. Trust me. When you're in
They
last
would
place,
never.
when you're in last place, you take the win any way you can get it. So I will gladly put on. The
You don't have to wear it
victory
the whole
helmet.
show if you don't want.
I got to read it for. I got to wear it for at least my next read.
All right, that's fair. I'm down with
Makes
that.
sense.
That's right. All right, we ready to declare our 4-star of the game here, Braggs?
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
never going to guess who it was, everybody. That's right. It was Conor Bedard. He is the winner
Wyatt Kaiser.
of your 4-star of the game. Thank you for your votes. That doesn't mean, though, you can't keep hitting things on our YouTube page. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that stuff. But Conor Bedard is the winner of the chat's 4th star of the game. I see a lot of you asking for tank standings.
Do it yourself. You know the website.
It's not going to happen.
You know the website. Go there when we're done.
We're
Do
not
it.
getting into another
Steven-
season where people are mad about wins.
Steven
refuse.
hasn't created the website yet. He's got to get on that.
Yeah, and
You
he's
know
on
the-
vacation.
You know the address.
But I warn you guys, I said the same thing about the Bears. And
What?
we're already looking at
Tank standings?
Tank standings.
Yeah, but
and
that's
a
different
different-
because
that's a
you
different
also
stage.
have.
you're in my hell with me, okay? Because then
But
the
you
other,
guys also have that Panthers pick, which is likely to be
Right.
the number 1 pick.
Right,
so
so-
that's different.
well,
Yeah,
Bears
if-
can win a couple
the
games and you'll
first
still be
and
number
second
1
pick
Yeah,
sounds
if
nice
we had
too.
the Sharks
Great,
first,
so they could
first
screw
round
up
pick
two-
this
two-
year.
the top 2 picks.
Yes,
instead of-
and the other thing we have in common is both the Bears and Blackhawks have not won back-to-back games this season.
Yeah,
This
well,
is-
And the Bears haven't won a back-to-back game in 2 years. So
Well,
hopefully you don't follow that
But the
lead.
big difference is one is trying to win and one is not.
Correct.
it's true.
So that makes it a little less frustrating. That's why honestly, everybody, last year, shows were a drag. Like, the Hawks would win a game and people would be legitimately angry in the chat. And it was like, what are we doing here? I'm not doing that again. I'm sorry.
In
I'm not.
January, after January, I hated doing victory post-game shows because everybody was mad. And guess what? They still got Conor Bedard.
It's weird. It worked out.
Yeah, we're not doing that this year. You know the website. You can do it after the show.
Yeah, and the tank was for Conor Bedard.
Yeah.
This year, yes, Macklin Celebrini is probably going to be the number 1 pick, but if they land 2nd or 3rd or 4th or 5th, you're going to get a really, really good player.
Yeah.
And it's fine
Yep.
because you got Conor Bedard.
No doubt.
Exactly.
No doubt about that. All right, let's take our second break, and then we'll get to the Corey Perry stuff after that.
All right. Hey, if you want to go and see any of the fine Chicago sports teams in this town, and you want to pay to go and see them, you can do it through the GameTime app. They are the best place to get tickets to sporting events, music events, comedy shows, anything that you want to go and get a ticket to. Do it through GameTime. You shouldn't have to worry when you are buying tickets to those events. GameTime is fast and easy and a great way to buy tickets to all of those events near you. They have killer last-minute deals, all-in prices. They allow you to see the views from the seats of the tickets you are buying, and their best price guarantee makes sure that you are getting the best price on tickets through GameTime. They take the guessing work out of buying tickets. You love to see the views from the seats. I love that feature that they have on GameTime,
Yeah.
so that when you're buying a Cubs ticket, in the 100 level, a couple rows back. You want to make sure there's not a pole in your way, because why even be at the game if you can't see what's happening? So when you go to Game Time, you can choose your seat. You can see what a game looks like from that seat, and make sure that you're spending your money wisely. They have the all-in prices, which show you their total up front. So you're not going to go to the, pick out your seats, be like, wow, what a great value. Go to the checkout online and be like, oh, here's all your fees, by the way. You're going to see it right away, so you know what you're going to be paying on those tickets. And you got the zone deals, the flash deals, last-minute ticket price drops. You can find those at Game Time if you're wishy-washy about going to the game, but it's an hour until tip-off or puck drop or kickoff or whatever, and you finally make the decision, I'm going to go to the game. Go to Game Time, and you're going to find some great price drop deals. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use the code CHGO for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms do apply, but again, create an account with the Game Time app and redeem the code CHGO. That's spelled C as in crap, CHGO is the best. H as in holy shit, I love CHGO. G as in golly gee, CHGO is the best. And O as in oh my God, isn't CHGO the best? Sure, Bob, it sure is the best. For $20 off, download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.
Make a great holiday gift, too.
I told you I had an
tickets.
extra large coffee today, and it is not worn off. So that's what you got.
Yeah. Speaking of good holiday gifts.
Well, hey, and if you want to enhance, you know what the best way to enhance your sporting event or concert experience?
Pocket bacon.
Pocket bacon. And you know where you get the best pocket bacon?
Charlie.
From Charlie the Bacon Guy, our guy.
Directly from his pockets.
Yes, directly from his pocket to yours and into your mouth, and it's delicious. Charlie the Bacon Guy is based out of Woodridge, Illinois. He's a local dude. He's a YouTube commenter, a Hawks fan. Give him your money, and he's going to give you great craft bacon and bacon jams in over 30 different flavors. The bacon and bacon jams are an all naturally cured, fancy preservative-free product. There aren't any ingredients that Charlie can't pronounce himself involved in the process, unlike most of that crummy store-bought bacon. It's vacuum sealed and freezes great. Lasts in the package up to 45 days in the fridge and 6 months in the freezer. That doesn't compute at all. Bacon jam lasts about 60 days in the fridge. It usually doesn't even make it out of my car. And up to 6 months in the freezer. And some of the favorite flavors include maple pepper, Nashville hot. The French toast is amazing. The buffalo is great. Ranch. Fantastic on a BLT, jalapeno garlic, jardinera, and even Malort. Yes, really, Malort bacon. It's
Love you,
still
Charlie, but no.
bacon.
I'm looking forward to trying that at the holiday party.
I bet you it's not awful. Bacon jam flavors are the original bourbon, spicy peach. Bacon jam goes perfectly on anything, and scrambled eggs, toast, crackers, burgers, grilled cheese, cinnamon rolls, or Charlie's favorite, the spoon. I don't even use a spoon. I just dig in like Randy eating his
Face
meatloaf in a
first.
Christmas story.
Face
Like
first.
I eat my bacon
Show
jam
me
like the
how
little
the piggies
piggies
eat.
which
Yeah.
is a little weird when you're eating ground up piggy, but that's okay. I don't care.
Nope.
You
not
can
to
pick
me.
it up most efficient way, or he will deliver it to you, meet halfway, or even ship it. Charlie makes it work. I'm getting a really weird echo in this helmet.
See, I'm telling you.
Which
you
Charlie
balls.
donated our helmet.
How do you play a hockey game in that thing? I don't
Well, he
understand.
also-
Well, you
He
don't
also
take
used this when
the
he was
padding
7.
out of it.
yeah, but
First off.
still, it's weird. I don't like
He
it.
makes the bacon so you can bring it home starting now until December 15th. You can save 10% off your order at the brand new CharlieTheBaconGuy.com when you use the code CHGO10. Get your orders in and use that code to save. Head over to CharlieTheBaconGuy.com. Buy everybody on your holiday list bacon.
Chaco Mako
Damn right.
says, the shipping to Rhode Island is a bit much. Maybe just meet Charlie in the middle of here in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
He'll do that, right?
And it's bacon.
Somewhere
He'll
around
ship it to you.
somewhere around Pittsburgh, right? You know.
Yeah.
If you wanted to,
can get
I
there.
mean, it would be cheaper to ship if he just like threw it in a bag and mailed it to you, but it's going to arrive probably not great. So, yes, to get your bacon shipped frozen or at least cold, it's going to take a little bit. But that's why, local business, local network.
745 Moto fan says he won't send it international. Well, then you just have to come here.
Guys,
Go to a hockey game.
sounds like a you
and get
problem
it.
for being
yeah,
international.
I mean,
I don't think you want bacon shipped to like Sweden or whatever.
Well, I mean,
it's going to take a while.
he sent. I
it
ordered.
lasts 45 days in the package.
I ordered holiday bacon for my friends and family from Charlie.
Spoiler alert, hope they're not watching.
Whatever. And it comes in a nice cooler pack, frozen packed in there. Like it was all official. Charlie, I think if I remember the packaging correctly, Charlie the Bacon Guy tape.
Like tape, yeah.
It's a whole thing. So I think that could travel pretty well.
Yeah,
Just tape up a styrofoam cooler and get it on the.
You know what's great is I don't have to worry about it.
I don't either.
I
That's
live
true,
very
yeah.
close.
That's true.
Yeah.
I got to see Charlie this week. He's got my podcast mic, jerk. Anyway, I'll get it back. All right, let's move on to before we wrap up the show. Corey Perry issued a statement today, and I think if you've not seen or heard this yet, you probably agree that this is about as good of a statement as you can issue. Kind of covered all the angles and took all the blame. Corey Perry says, I would like to sincerely apologize to the entire Chicago Blackhawks organization, including ownership, management, coaches, trainers, employees, and my teammates. I would also like to apologize to my fans and my family. I'm embarrassed, and I have let you all down. As a result of my actions, there has been speculation and rumors. I am sickened by the impact this has had on others, and I want to make it clear that in no way did this situation involve any of my teammates or their families. Most importantly, I want to directly apologize to those who have been negatively affected, and I am sorry for the additional impact to others it has created. My behavior was inappropriate and wrong. I have started working with experts in the mental health and substance abuse fields to discuss my struggles with alcohol, and I will take whatever steps necessary to ensure this never happens again. I hope to regain the trust and respect of everyone who has believed in me throughout my career. Once again, I am deeply sorry. And it's signed Corey. So there is Corey Perry's apology. I think that is pitch perfect. I hope that he gets the help he needs and everyone impacted here does as well, because it was an ugly situation with a lot of ripple effects. But, hey, it's good to see the guy say, pointing the thumbs, no fingers pointed, no I'm sorry buts, put 100% of the blame on himself, and it's commendable.
Yeah. Took accountability, apologized to everybody involved, spoke up about the bullshit online, and said that he's going to reach out for help. And yeah, I think that's as best as you could hope to hear from him and his side of things. And hopefully it's a good point to now be able to move forward, and hopefully there's some closure to it for all parties involved.
Absolutely. And as I said on our pregame show, as someone who has dealt with substance abuse and mental health issues and still deals with it on it every day, admitting you need help is a very hard first step.
Yeah.
And to admit that to yourself is difficult, but to admit that to millions of people publicly, very brave. So kudos to Corey Perry for taking ownership of his actions and trying to be better. That's all we can ask of somebody when they make a mistake, is to take ownership and try to be better. So to me, I'm satisfied with both ends of this. It's time to move on and start healing, and just let's focus on the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
On the ice.
I mean, I'm a big believer in people can change, people can improve, people can truly apologize and mean it. And what Corey Perry said here is sincere. And when you think about like the limb that Luke Richardson went on for him, that's what Corey Perry is referring to and letting people down for the impact it had on a teammate's family. That's what he's apologizing for. Whoever the victim was of the incident, that's who he's apologizing for, and everybody it affected. There's a lot of tentacles to this action by Corey Perry, and again, he's owning all of it, and I hope that he can get things figured out, and whether or not the NHL's in his future remains to be seen. He's 38 years old, so who knows? But hey, first steps, get your life in order. Yeah. Make sure your family's taken care of and you're taken care of, and begin the rest of your life.
Hockey should be on the back burner right now.
Yeah.
Not the top priority.
Exactly. All right. We are off tomorrow. Greg and I are headed to Notre Dame, Michigan in South Bend. We're going to talk to Frank Nazar and Landon Slaggert, so look for some social media content there. Make sure you're following us on social media at CHGO_Blackhawks. And then we're back Saturday and Sunday.
2
Road
afternoon
games, pre-games for both days. I think is Saturday 1 and Sunday 2, or do I have those reversed?
All the way around. Saturdays 2, Sundays 1. So
1:30 and 12:30 pre-games Saturday and Sunday. So we hope you'll join us for all of those. And again, keep your eye on CHGO_Blackhawks on Twitter for stuff from South Bend tomorrow night. And hey, if you're going to Notre Dame, Michigan, look for me and Greg. We'll be eating wings and gator balls or whatever those things are called.
Yeah, the Gator Balls.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll be the guys with random sauce stains
Yes.
on the front of our shirts.
Exactly. It'll be fun. So we'll see you there, or we'll see you Saturday and Sunday on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
Detroit sucks! Detroit sucks!
We all silly like the mayor.